All right, now I think we've hit the broadcast again. Just had all sorts of problems with this. So we'll pick it up here in the second quarter. Seattle up 10-0. Unfortunately, I thought some of this broadcast was being captured, and it was not. And then my computer crashed on top of that. So it's been really a mess here. Just to set the stage, once again, this is Autumn Wind. We're in the Final Four. And in this semifinal matchup, we have the 16-0 Detroit Lions, who obviously was 16-0, have been completely dominant through the entire season, going up against last year's Autumn Wind champion, and that's the Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks are coached by Dennis Crowley, and Detroit is coached by Paul Power. The other semifinal matchup coming up will be Tampa Bay up against Houston. Now, Houston, the Oilers, they were the runners up last year. So we have two of the Final Four teams here. And, of course, Tampa Bay is new to the party, as is Detroit. When I tried to join the broadcast, Seattle was up 3-0, and unfortunately nothing seemed to be connecting to YouTube. We missed a 4th and 1 in which Paul tried a pass over the middle that was incomplete, and that gave Seattle the ball at their own 49. They struggled to move the ball and went for it on 4th and 5, but they were able to convert and drove for a score. So they're up 10-0. And Paul, probably feeling a little bit of pressure here, is going for it on his own 41-yard line, trailing 10-0. Just doesn't want to give this ball back to Seattle, so he's going to try to convert, and he does in a big way with a run off tackle. That'll pick up the first down. So now they have the ball at the Seattle 41. We'll open up some card image here. And there's a pass that is picked off. Seattle will intercept that long pass, 0 men in zone. Now let's see how far they take it back. Oh my, they're taking it back a long way. In fact, they're going all the way for a score, and Seattle couldn't have written this up more beautifully. What a perfect storm for Seattle, going up against undefeated Paul Power and his Detroit Lions, and they're up 17-0 here on the road against a dominant Detroit team. So an interception, long pass, return for a touchdown. So let's see if Detroit can get a score on the board here before the half. Plenty of time, 7.5 to go before halftime. Detroit trailing 17-0. Seattle is looking for back-to-back championships. There's a pass to the flats, defender X, a white die 4. Linebacker makes the play. He was a 4. He was a 4, and he still is a 4, as a matter of fact. That's Eric Wilson, who he made a trade for me before the season to pick the veteran linebacker. Defense in a 3-3-5, correct double team there. And so it's third down. That pace was intended for Drake London. So now we've got one of these difficult 3rd and 10 conversions. 3-3-5. Back out there with Higgins and Wilson. And another double team. Seattle is pushing all the right buttons so far. And Detroit, 3 and out, courtesy of 2 correct double teams. And they'll take over at their own 26 with 6:18 to go. Up by 17 here in this Autumn Wind Championship. Defense calls run. Guessed wrong. That's a pickup of 11. Moving the ball out to the 37. So Wilson off to a fine start, 11 for 13 for 126 yards. That was Watson's 9th catch already here in the first quarter. Guessed wrong run of 6. 2nd down and 4. Christian Watson, the Green Bay wideout, with 9 catches of 11 completed passes from Russell Wilson. He has 9 of them. 2nd down and 4. Quick pass. Correctly called. So now it's 3rd and 1. I believe that Paul has an excellent pass defense. I also believe that Dennis has one as well. So both these two had swarming, dominating defenses. It's going to be very difficult to make up 17 points on this club. But that's one way to do it right there. 3rd and 3, incomplete pass. Ball that is 44. Dennis is aggressive, but not that kind of aggressive. He's going to kick it. Is Detroit going to elect to return it? Let's see. He will. And he'll pick up 5. So 3:54 left to go in the first half. Let's see if Detroit can put together a drive. And when you've got an explosive running back like Gibbs, anything's possible. There's a 4-yard pickup. Got a lot of mileage here. Look at those short gains, 47, guessed wrong, 20, 23. Plenty of good stuff on that card. Of course, it's diminished a little bit because they do run that 3 wide. Pass completed. And again, 3rd down and 1. First things first, got to figure out a way to just get this 1st down and not give Seattle the ball back, because they'll have all 3 of their timeouts here before the half. So let's see if they can get this 1st down. So it's a pitch play, and he picks up 7. And he gets out of bounds. Boy, that's pretty fortunate. White dive 4. That could have been a 43-yard gain. That would have been exactly what the doctor ordered for Detroit. But he does get the 1st down. So move those chains. Ball at the 26. 2:24 to go. Detroit still has all 3 of their timeouts. Here's a deep shot. Let's see. It's going to Michael Wilson. Darnold, pretty good runner, picks up the 1st down on that must run, 14 yards. An underrated runner. No huge numbers there at 2 and 3, but still that's pretty solid on your 7 to get an 8-yard gain. Not bad. Several chances to get a 1st down if you need 10. So Sam Darnold, the real-life Super Bowl champion, is going to try to bring the make-believe Detroit Lions back, put them back into this game. There's an unfortunate roll. That's on Gibbs's card. He's going to run a little bit, but in this case here, it's on the D card, and he loses a yard as we've made our way to the 2-minute warning. Again, both clubs with all 3 of their timeouts. Detroit looking for any points they can put on the board to stop this Seattle momentum. Anything they can get on the board here before the half. Seattle took the early lead in this contest with a field goal. Paul Power and his Lions were stopped at 4th and 1 at midfield. Seattle capitalized with a touchdown. And Paul Power trailing 10-0, his Detroit Lions. Sam Darnold threw a deep interception that was returned for a score, which brings us to the 17-0 score that we have right now. Here's a deep shot. Let's see. It's going to Michael Wilson. All right, 3rd and 11. Go back here to the broadcast and fix one little thing here. There we go. Okay, there's your completed pass for 12 yards and a first down. Darnold finding Drake London. He gets out of bounds, preserves the timeout. Plenty of time here. Oh, no, he did not take timeout. He just basically said, hurry up, let's go. 1:30 to go. Here's the ball at the 49, which is where they met their Waterloo earlier in the game, missing out on a 4th and 1. Second down and 3. Did not call timeout. Hurry up offense. Same 3 wide set that we've seen throughout this game. There's a button hook pass completed, first down. Likely will call timeout here. No, he doesn't. He's going to continue to play hurry up. All right, 45 seconds to go. Deep shot, no double team. And that pass is incomplete. 5 able to make the play. That would be the defensive back in the zone, who is a 6. And that is our Darius Washington, who Seattle picked up in the draft this year, knowing full well that he wasn't going to be playing for the real-life Baltimore Ravens, but he wanted that 6, and he's able to make the play. The moves that you make to repeat as champion. There's a pitch play, and he's going to get 8, but he's going to be stopped short of the first down by 2 yards. And Detroit now will call one of those 3 timeouts. That'll leave 2. 30 seconds to go. Ball at the 29. So at least they've made their way into field goal range. 46-yarder from here. So Paul will switch over to the 2 tight end set. Off tackle run. Wow, Seattle keyed him, but it was on the D card. And the offensive tackle was able to make a block. Only needed a 4. Paul has a 6. Says, I've got plenty where that came from. I got blocking for days. All right, 22 seconds and 1 timeout remaining. Now there's a halfway decent chance, potentially here for a touchdown. A max of 4 plays left, depending on incomplete, get out of bounds, etc. But he does have that 1 timeout. What he needs to do here is to avoid the sack. And there's a deep shot, incomplete pass. 15 seconds to go, 2nd and 10. So he's got at least 2 plays here if he has to use that timeout, if he can't get out of bounds. So maybe he takes one more shot at the end zone and just settles for 3 so he can get something on the board before the half. There's a shot, and again, incomplete. So now 3rd and 10, so he's got a free play here. I would not at all be surprised to see a run. Oops. Not at all surprised to see a run call here. Oh, and there it is. Long gain, but, and he has to go out of bounds. So 4th down and 2. It was guessed wrong. But the linebacker containment came up and was able to make that play. So another bad break for Paul. Containment. Yep. I see the messages back and forth. Yep. That would have been a touchdown had it been 2nd down, but 3rd down, the linebacker was able to make the play. Yep. Yeah, they're messaging back and forth. But that was legitimate. Great call. I love the call, but unfortunately he's caught up by the linebacker containment. And so we're going into the half, and good for Detroit to put some points on the board. And now they're going to get the kickoff. So they've got a real shot to cut this thing down to one score. So the shock and awe of being down 17-0. Clear your mind, Paul Power. Clear your mind, young man, and put this to work in the second half and cut this lead down to one score. They're not going to waste any time. They're immediately going to go to it. That's a touchback, and that'll give Detroit good field position at the 30. So as we mentioned, Detroit undefeated, 16-0 in this campaign. Of course, they've won their playoff game to get here. You run the gauntlet, you go 19-0. Dennis Crowley has done this. I believe there's been some other teams who've been able to pull this off, but the last one that we knew of was Dennis Crowley when he had back-to-back autumn win championships. And of course, he won last year, and he's looking to go back to repeat the feat, so to speak. Boy, and Crowley right now is just on another plane. There's another double team, but this time it's caught. Pick up a 5, 2nd and 5. There's a quick hitter. It only gets 3. And that was on the receiver card. Excuse me, that was Njoku. He only picked up 2. That's kind of a bad break. He's got a better card than that. Actually, it's not great. No, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. He's just got a bad roll. 3rd and 3. Just been slow going here for Detroit. Runs have been definitely at a premium. Here's an off-tackle run. Great call by Seattle. He is keyed, and 4th and 5. Paul Power wastes no time kicking this ball. So a 3 and out, successful defensive stand for Seattle, who's up 17-3. Pick up a 4 on the punt return, and they will take over in their own territory, 18-yard line, and setting up shop for their first possession of the second half. Russell Wilson and his crew up 17-3. We've seen the 2 tight end set pretty much throughout. That's Trey McBride, Aaron Jones, Devonta Smith, and Watson, who has 9 catches so far. Last time I checked, he had 9 catches. So there's a loss of 2. So Detroit's looking pretty solid here now. 3rd and 12. Let's see if he can get him off the field. 3rd and 12. So now you got to find a receiver who has the capability to go 12 yards or give you the best shot. So is he going to look at Devonta Smith? Is he going to look for Watson? No blitzing from Detroit as they're in the 3-3-5. They are double teaming Will Dissly. And so they're looking, incomplete. So they were looking for Watson again, who was looking for his 10th catch. That falls incomplete. So now Detroit. Nothing on that punt return, so they'll take right back over pretty much where they started from at the 32 this time. So let's see if they can put a sustained drive together. Gibbs has been pretty quiet. He was robbed of a long gain just a few moments ago when Detroit was driving for a field goal, the victim of run contain. And there's the dreaded 5. Mere mortals get a 0. Gibbs at least gets a 1. Lots of yards. He just has not been able to find it. There's a receiver reading and a pickup of 8. So it's 3rd down and 1. And that's Gibbs. Third and 1. Defense in the 3-3-5. Looks to the sideline and move those chains. Pick up a 5, 1st down. Ball to 46. Deep shot for Higgins, hoping that Seattle would be calling a run there to stop Gibbs. That falls incomplete. Second down and 10. Here's a flat pass, but it's incomplete, and now it's 3rd and 10. I have lost my so far today window. What do you know about that? So 3rd and 10, not the position you want to be against one of the league's better pass defenses. Looking for Drake London, and he's double teamed. So in addition to have one of the most dominating pass defenses, Dennis has had the great fortune of calling a lot of correct double teams this evening. So that play's not going to go anywhere. That's a good kick. Seattle had the ball at their 18. Now they have the ball at the 15-yard line to start this drive. Kind of a sloggy start here to the third quarter. No surprise. Both teams have such great defenses. There's a pickup of 1, and even 1 yard is hard to come by in a game like this. We've had a defensive touchdown. Seattle has a field goal and a score that was based on that was predicated by a turnover at midfield by Detroit on a 4th down stop. So defense has directly led to 14 of Seattle's 17 points, an interception return, a 4th down stop at midfield that led to a touchdown. Looking for 6. And he's 1 yard short. So the linebacker containment comes into play. Seattle will kick the ball back to Detroit. Let's see if he can get him a good return here. And he hit that 0 for the second time in the game, actually. So no return. And no, you're not seeing things. This is the 3rd possession for Detroit. It's pretty much been 3 and out, or maybe 1 first down, and then kick it right back to Seattle. It's just so difficult to get yards against 2 dominating defenses, but you have to hit the offensive cards, and right there he did. So Darnold completes a 29-yard pass to Higgins. Want to be a little careful there, though. He does have that 2 through 10 interception split on the 11. There are worse cards, but it's a tough way to make a living. Here's a hitch pass. Seattle brought a few men up. Let's see where that hitch pass is going to go. No fumble. Guessed right. Pickup of 7. Excuse me, 6. So it's a pickup of 6. Second down and 4. Seattle has been countering the 3 wide with their 3-3-5 pretty much throughout the game. Off tackle run. Oh, and there's the white die 1. So he only picks up 2. That's a 2 or a 3. It's a short game. But I'm quite sure that Paul's been playing this formation throughout the season. It's hard to argue with a team that's 16-0. Very rare to go through this season undefeated. So tough to build a team this strong to go against. Usually there's about 5 or 6 teams that are going to have dominant defenses, and that's what you really need to worry about in this league. This is very much a defensive-oriented league. And there's another deep target, and that is incomplete. Second down and 10. But I like the thinking here because, again, when you have one of the best running back cards in the set at one time, that you call run, so long as it's on your card, it's worth taking a shot downfield. The problem is it's now 3rd and 10, and with the ball at the 36, he's looking at a 53-yard field goal. And he's trailing by 2 touchdowns. So One wonders if he's going to try to maybe get a few back and then go for it on fourth down. Dennis has just been almost clairvoyant when it comes to these double teams. Here's a screen pass. No men. That's it. All right. Pick up a 14 on the play. So Gibbs with the reception. Nobody was over there in the zone. And I don't care if you have the best defense in the world, the best defensive cards, there's not much you can do about 0 men in the zone. Defense doesn't make much of a difference. In fact, they make very little difference. There's another double team, correct, by Dennis on that flat pass. It dances between the raindrops of a 5 and a 5 on Darnold's card. Now, he definitely is in field goal range here, but we're getting to the last few moments here of the third quarter. One wonders if everything moving forward is going to be 4-down territory. 2 men in zone. Incomplete pass, so now it's 3rd and 10. Just such a difficult conversion against such a strong defense, both these clubs. So, tough way to make a living. 3 wide set. Let me move this card over. I've been missing the double teams. Looking for London. This time he's throwing to Wilson. Oh, and that one's incomplete. So at least he got it to a player who was not double teamed. He is going to try to convert this field goal, which will take it to 2 scores. That's right. So now trailing by 11, a touchdown 2-point conversion, and a field goal could tie this up. Tiny return there for Seattle as the ball is at the 20 with a game that is absolutely flown. 1:12 remaining here in the third quarter. Seattle up 17-6. The winner gets to the Autumn Wind Championship, and they will await, find out who wins the Houston Oilers game against Tampa Bay. Houston looking to get back to the Autumn Wind Championship and avenge their loss to the Seattle Seahawks. There's a run up the middle, pick up a 5. That ends the third quarter, so only 1 score. That belongs to Detroit, 17-6. Seattle still has the ball, 2nd and 5, ball at the 38. Grinds up 3 more yards, 3rd down and 2. Big play for Paul Power right here. Let's see if he can get that ball back. 3rd and 2. Paul floods a zone, and nose tackle is not able to make the play. Nose tackle 4. Not been able to make the play. Paul, instead of bringing up support, decided to flood the right zone. Oh, wow, there was an interception spot there. Oh, my. Gosh, on a flat pass with 1 man in the zone just shows you the difference in these cards. You would never expect that much of a percentage for an interception on a harmless little flat pass, but a 2-through-6 split could have turned this game right around. Oh, wow. Guessed wrong pass, incomplete. Right there between the 22 and the 20. So Christian Watson, who has 10 catches, unable to haul that one in. And Paul Power, sigh of relief, saying, there's that break I've been waiting for. Now, if I could get 6 more of them, we'd be golden. So not to sound like a broken record, but 3rd and 10. Huge play for the defense here. Let's get Seattle off the field and get this ball back. Or let's turn them over. How about that? Let's look for a pick. So Paul will go to the 3-3-5, and Dennis is going to stay in his too tight set. Wonder if he's going to try to run it here. Nope. Go big or go home. Looking for Devonta Smith. Must run for Russell Wilson, but he's not the Russell Wilson of old. He's able to pick up 4 yards. Holds on to the ball, though. And at 4th and 6, Crowley is not feeling froggy. He's going to kick this one back to the Lions. That's going to go sailing through the end zone. So that's okay. Dennis takes off a few more minutes off the clock. 12:18 to go here in the 4th quarter. Auto win semifinals, conference championship, if you will. Nine-yard pickup for Gibbs. It was not on his card. Just hasn't had a lot of, sorry. I don't know if that was Gibbs or not. Now he's got Warren in, probably preserving carries. Off tackle run. Defense guesses run. Can he squeak a yard? No, he cannot. Good call by Dennis. Wow. That almost seemed like a given that you're going to pick up that yard. And now, here we go. You take 37 seconds off the clock, and you've created another 3rd down situation here. Picks up 1 yard. That was Warren. This time he gets that yard. Ooh, right between the 0, the -1, a 0, and a 0. Oh, mercy. Gosh, that was a gutsy call. A really gutsy call by Dennis to call run twice. Deep shot. It's caught. Big gain. This time on the receiver card, a 37-yard reception for Michael Wilson. And just like that, Detroit is at the Seattle Seahawks 33-yard line with 9:54 to play on a running clock. And they're going deep again. And another successful double team. Had he not been double teamed, that would have been a 25-yard reception. Good instincts again by Dennis. Off tackle run. And again, it's just not hitting Gibbs's card. No gain on the play. So 3rd and 10. Now, does Paul maybe run a draw here just to get in field goal range? I don't know how good his kicker is from 50 yards out, but that's how long this kick would be. Assuming he avoids a sack, and here comes Seattle. They are bringing heat. Screen right. So they're going to settle for whatever they get here, and that'll be a pickup of 5. So they are in a little bit better field goal range. But that's Zane Gonzalez kicking. I'm not sure what kind of a card he has, and we're not going to get a chance to see it. He's going to go for it. So 4th and 5. And we already know that if it's on the D card, if it's going to be a flat pass, things probably aren't. Well, he's going to be throwing up against some 4s here. Let's see if he floods his zone. Wilson is defended by a 4. Does he go back to Gibbs again, who also is picked up by a 4? Now, Dennis is not blitzing here. A square in pass, looking for Wilson. He's double teaming elsewhere, and he finds a blank. Oh, my. Incomplete pass, bad break. Blanks on 210 and -1 on 12. Of course, the interception's on 11. So that big double team on Wilson by Seattle proves to make a huge difference there. Defense called run there, but the corner was able to make the play on Christian Watson, again, who has 10 catches. He's defended by a 5, and that's Patrick Surtain. Three more games to go here in Autumn Wind. This one, we've got the other conference championship with Houston Oilers against Tampa Bay. That's Ken Briere against Mike Ramos. And then we will have our Autumn Wind title game. Russell Wilson completes that pass for 10 yards and a first down. It was guessed wrong by Detroit, but guessed right or wrong, it would have been a 10-yard pickup. There's a run and a gain of 5. So 6:36 to go. Looking for Watson again. Defense was double teaming Christian Watson. It would have been incomplete either way. 3rd down and 5. Pickup of 3. Good call by Paul Power. It was guessed right. It would have been, well, it may not have been a first down. Depends on linebacker containment. Dennis was thinking pretty hard about going for it there, but he opts to go ahead and kick it. And this one's going to be, let's see if he lets this thing go. He does. All right, so desperate times now for the Lions, trailing 17-6 against one of the league's best defenses. If ever there was the big run right now, we need it from Gibbs. Bomb to Higgins. Defense guesses pass. Let's see if it's on Darnold's card. Oh, it is. Great break there. Long gain. Let's see how far he takes it. How about all the way? How about a house call? Sam Darnold to T. Higgins. And wow, has the game changed in one play. But let's see if he could put the capper right here, which of course he's going to need to get this 2-point conversion. We're going to know now if it's going to take a touchdown to catch up with them or a field goal to tie it. So Sam Darnold dials up that 5. T. Higgins says, I'm taking this all the way. And the lead is now 17-12. Crossing pattern. It's guessed wrong. Oh, it's incomplete. Again, there's that great defense card. But that's okay. Paul Power will take it. This is a brand new ball game now with 5 minutes to go. If his team can stand and deliver on defense, give their club one more shot. Dennis needs about 3 first downs here to put this one away. Paul Power sure could use a 3 and out. But wow, they made it close. A great comeback from Detroit. They have the only 9 points here in the second half. Seattle has been shut out. They've been working more on getting rid of some of that clock. There's a run. He only picks up 3 yards. No linebacker support. And, of course, he has a linebacker 4, but it was only a pickup of 3. 0 or 3. 2nd down and 7. 4:12 running clock. Both clubs do have all 3 of their timeouts. Detroit's been in that 3-3-4, mixing it up with his 3-3-5. 3-4, excuse me. Here is an off-tackle run, short gain, and there's your first down. And that'll be a pickup of 15, so they made their way to midfield, just short of it, at the 49. 3:36 to go. If Seattle can muster 2 timeouts, this game likely will end, and he can punch his ticket and give himself a chance to be a repeat Autumn Wind champion. Off-tackle run, again, guessed wrong. Defense guesses pass. Fortunately, it's on the D card, so the damage is minimal. It is a pickup of 5, so that is a win for Seattle as we've made our way to the 3-minute mark in the conference championship. Let's see how aggressive DeMarcado checks in. And that's a pass that is completed. Guessed wrong. A flat pass that picks up 10 yards. No timeout. 2:24 remaining. Seattle has made their way into field goal range at this point. So even if they're stopped, they could push this lead out to 8. Off tackle run. Defense guesses run. And that's going to be a stop for 2. Let's see if Paul will call timeout, maybe to preserve a little bit of clock. He does not. It'll go to the 2-minute warning. So Paul Powers Club, who had a bye in the first round, and find themselves trailing by 5 in this conference championship. They will take their first timeout. So 3rd and 5. So again, from here, it's a 48-yard field goal. Is this 4-down territory for Seattle if he doesn't make it here? Inside run. Dreaded 5 pops up. And Paul will take timeout again. No hesitation at all, as he has the greatest kicker on the planet, checks into the game to kick. He puts it through. A 48-yard field goal. And so now he is pretty much insulated himself, so to speak. The best that Paul Power can do at this point in regulation likely is tie. And he's got to go 70 yards against double team and Dennis. But don't sleep on Gibbs. There's still a timeout left. So you wouldn't be surprised to see some end runs. Defender X. And it is caught. It is caught. A white die 6, so a 27-yard pickup. Once again, going to Michael Wilson. And so they made their way into Seattle territory with 1:15 to go. They did not call timeout. They're playing hurry up here. Wow, boy, just absolutely playing with fire. Here's a short gain. There's that run. Gibbs gets 14. Makes his way to the 29. They don't call timeout. I'm going to preserve it. 52 seconds to go. They need 6 and they need 2. And they're looking deep again. And that one is incomplete. So 2nd down. Ball to 45. Yeah, I'm sorry. Ball at the 29. I'm sorry, 45 seconds to go. Ball's at the 29 with 45 seconds to play. Seattle up 20-12. But Detroit, courtesy of yet one more long gain pass, this time on the D card, they've put themselves in a position to have a chance. Oh, he doesn't get out of bounds either. Pickup of 5 right there between a 30, which would have tied this up, and a short gain. But again, now we have a 3rd and 5, and these are the things that you don't want to be worrying about, just getting the conversions. Surprised he didn't call timeout there. 22 seconds to go. He elects not to call timeout. Here's a pitch play. It's guessed wrong. It's on the D card. Is he going to get there? He does get it, and he gets out of bounds. So 15 seconds to go. He's got one timeout. He's going to go with the two tight sets. So now here comes the quandary for Dennis. Do you call run here? Because he does have Gibbs, and guess wrong, he is murder, especially on the outside. He calls a pitch, and oh my gosh, I just missed that long gain. But fortunately, he does get out of bounds, so he only picks up 3. Oh, that's a terrible roll. That's too bad. Just a bad break on that roll. So ball at the 16 now. So he for sure has 2 plays left unless this is a turnover. So he's got 2 cracks at it. Does he try one more Gibbs run? He does. And defense calls run, and they keyed him. He better hope for a defensive roll. Nope, it's not. It's a -7. Didn't really need to get out of bounds at that point. So 3rd and 14 doesn't matter. It's really 4th down and 23. Gutsy call there by Dennis, probably thinking that even if the pass is incomplete from the 16, it's quite possible he would have thrown to a receiver that wouldn't have been able to get the 16 yards required to get a touchdown. So good instincts. So 3 wide set. Gibbs stays in the game. Nickel 3-3-5. They are not blitzing. So does Dennis just put 2 back there in the end zone, said beat us from here? If you can get one more long gain, good luck on you. From 23 yards out, Sam Darnold. Does he have one more long gain in him? Does he go to Gibbs? Does he try an end run with Gibbs and see if he can hit one of those long gains? I mean, if it's on the D card, the game is over. So here we go. Looking for Drake London for all the marbles. And that one is incomplete. And the game is over. And congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks, who will have the opportunity to defend their crown in autumn wind. And congratulations to Paul Power on an unbelievable 16-0 campaign. Just an absolutely phenomenal performance. He is a truly a credit to this league, a really good person, very selfless, offers great draft advice. I've loved working with him on drafts and had great conversations with him. It's really good to see teams that haven't been, in the upper echelon make it here this far to the finals. It's always great to have new blood involved in this contest. Obviously disappointing, but doesn't take away from a wonderful campaign. So congratulations to you, Paul Power. Phenomenal season. And congratulations to you, Dennis. You understand how difficult it is to climb the mountain and make your way to one of 2 top-tier teams. Very possible we could see a repeat for the championship between Seattle and Houston. But Tampa Bay has a lot to say about that. Mike Ramos had a phenomenal season, a very, very strong club, and a really good coach. So Houston, who stumbled down the stretch, but have kind of caught their mojo here in the playoffs, should be a fine contest. And that game is taking place tomorrow. So I think we're going to probably see if we can get Dennis in here. I had a hard time with this broadcast, and he's going to see it. I had a really, really rough time getting this started. For some reason, my keyboard just absolutely froze. So unfortunately, I had to restart it. Let's see. I'm going to send him a link and see if he wants to join. There we go. So I'll send a note here to Dennis, see if he wants to talk, and if not, we'll wrap things up here momentarily. Thought I did.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, congratulations.
So how did it go?
I guess we should be asking you that question.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, did you share your screen? Because all I see is black.
Well, I had it shared. If you go to YouTube, you'll see it. But anyway, yeah, at first my computer froze, my keyboard stopped working, so I had to restart the broadcast, but I believe I checked it and it seemed like it was working okay.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm looking at it right now. So
Yeah, send me that YouTube link. That was a tough one.
yeah. Boy, you had to be thinking after those long gains. You're kind of living dangerously. You're thinking against a team like you, eventually you're going to run into a pick, but he just never did.
Yeah, and I was happy with him dinking and dunking his way down the field, because that always gives me an opportunity to try to make a stop. But and I was fortunate that he didn't hit earlier on because he threw a lot of bonds. But
A lot.
But I avoided those big hits until the second half. But it was a really strong season by him. Of course, I'm being undefeated going into the game. That's an accomplishment for sure in this league.
Sure. Yeah.
And then I thought he coached pretty well. Maybe a little less of the 3 wide and more running, but I think that's the way he played all year. He wanted to spread you out so he could use Gibbs off tackle and catch those brackets. He hit me once with a plus 18 there, but for most of the part, Gibbs was held in check, and that made it tougher. So
yeah,
it was a fun game. Good. Thank you for calling it. I'll post that in the broadcast next to. I guess Anthony threw up a silent cast. So
I hope he did. He did I just really enjoyed his broadcast the other day. I listened to it. I had to break it up.
All he did was just show the screen. He didn't do any commentary.
Oh, so but I really liked his game with you in Cleveland the other day. I'm sure you went back to listen to it. He's just encyclopedic with his knowledge. He really is. Makes you wonder how in the world you beat that guy. Basically, he knows so many numbers about everybody. He's just he's really good.
His broadcast style is really good too. I mean, him and
really like it. Yeah. Hopefully, either you or he will get the Tampa Houston game. Well, who would have thought that you could potentially have a rematch?
Yeah. Well, don't tell Tampa that. They're probably they're looking to get in there themselves. So.
Well, Tampa, of course, they were in my division and they beat the bricks off of me for 2 games. So they were, clearing away the cream of the crop when it came to our division, which was kind of weak to begin with. But I was a little surprised. It's funny. I didn't pick him to have that kind of season. I think I had him winning the division, but not nearly at 12 wins. But then I took another look at his roster again. It's pretty solid. So, and he's a good coach too. So that's going to be a fun game. So, but way to 16-0. it's just a game, right? You know, you don't sit there and look at that and think I got to go, you know, beat a giant killer. It's just one-on-one, and you never know what's going to happen. So, I mean, you're really the contrast was the fourth downs. His 4th and 1 didn't go through. Your 4th and 5 went through, and then, you know, there you go. You drove for a score, go up 10-0, 17-0 with the interception return for a score.
But he did a great job. He did a great job on defense in the second half because
he did. I was
able to the ball a lot easier in the first half, but the second half he locked me down, and I was like, okay, if I just get one more score, I'm going to be tough to beat. And just couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it, and then he hit the ball. But luckily, I was able to hold on there at the end.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, it was a fun game. Congratulations. Hey,
sounds good.
Again, how many Autumn Wind championships do you have? And you're looking for which one now? 5th? Would this be your 5th?
No, I'm nowhere near that high. I think I have 3. Yeah, I have 3.
I was going to say you had 2 back-to-backs and you had last year, so that'd be 3. So you could potentially have a 4th. All right.
I made a couple more other times, but I lost those early of my Autumn Wind coaching.
You know, but you do probably have the potential to be the only double back-to-back winner, maybe.
I don't think so. I think that there's. Well, I mean, Mark maybe.
Maybe Mark. I was thinking maybe he could have had 2 back-to-back championships.
Maybe NFL had in the early days. So we'll see. I'll look it up. But yeah,
right,
it should be fun. Thanks a bunch.
All right. Congratulations. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Take care.
All right. Well, we'll run through some numbers here real quick, and then we will let everybody go on their merry way. So let's review the scoring here. Cam Little started the scoring with a 28-yard field goal, and that gave them a 3-0 lead in the first quarter. Second quarter, Seattle had both scores. As we were mentioning on the broadcast, there's Russell Wilson's 1-yard run. That came a big moment in the game there at the end of the first quarter, heading to the second quarter. Detroit had a 4th and 1 around the 49-yard line of Seattle, was unable to convert. And then Seattle, 3 downs, only 5 yards. And they decided to go for it and wound up picking up the 5 yards needed for a first down. And goes up 10-0. Just a couple of minutes later, after Russell Wilson's run, Cam Ward intercepted Sam Darnold and ran it back 89 yards to put Seattle up 17-0. Detroit was able to get 3 just before the end of the half with a 31-yard field goal from Zane Gonzalez. After that, it was pretty much all Detroit. They exchanged, I think there were 3 or 4 3-and-outs back and back to each other. Gonzalez clicks on a 39-yard field goal, and then the game breaker, a T. Higgins 80-yard pass from Sam Darnold. And with 5 minutes to go, Detroit was only down 5. They missed the 2-point conversion. So that meant it had to be a touchdown, and it assuredly meant it had to become a touchdown when Cam Little hit a 48-yard field goal. But Detroit was able to drive fairly deep into Seattle territory. But on the last play of the game, pass to the end zone was incomplete. And so Detroit's dreams of an undefeated season and an Autumn Wind title will go down today. But that does not at all take away from this phenomenal season that he had. 16-0, very rare indeed to take place here in Autumn Wind. So just looking at some of the other plays, it's funny when you see these highlights. You see a fumble by Aaron Jones, just a lot of stuff that doesn't wind up showing up in a box score here. A 31-yard field goal, kick return, that's not much. There's one of those long passes from Darnold to Michael Wilson. Let's go down here and take a look at the numbers. 17 of 26 for Russell Wilson for 153 yards. And of those 17 receptions. Christian Wilson led the lot, 10 catches and 124 yards. I would think likely he could be your MVP for the game, 10 catches for 124 yards. In a losing effort, T. Higgins, 9 catches for 144, and of course, 80 of those were on Detroit's lone touchdown of the game. It's funny, you didn't feel like Gibbs was really making a lot of noise, but he still finished up with 100 yards on 24 carries. His long gain of the day was only 18. A tragic play, actually, in the first half. He hit on a long gain on a third down deep in Seattle territory, but the long gain was taken away due to linebacker containment, and so Detroit had to settle for a field goal. You take those 3 points and you give him 7 instead, and he could be potentially driving for a game-winning field goal here down the stretch as opposed to a touchdown. It could have changed a lot of things in the game. So he had multiple rolls guessed wrong that just unfortunately either didn't hit on his card or wound up on the D card where they died a death. So a leading rusher for the Packers, 89 yards there for the ageless wonder, Aaron Jones. See if there's any missed field goals. Doesn't look like I saw it. Yeah, we didn't miss any field goals there. Any quarterback sacks? Nothing. Clean jerseys for both of these clubs. So there you have it. Great game. I'm sorry I wasn't able to get the entire game, but I feel we got the good parts, and especially the drama down the stretch. And we'll see who gets the broadcast tomorrow night's game. Could be me, could be Anthony, could be anybody. Maybe we just have a watch party. So thank you for watching the broadcast. God bless everybody. Stay safe. And congratulations to Dennis. And congratulations to Paul on a great season. Final score, Seattle 20, Detroit 12. Take care, everyone.